How's it going? It's Ethan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Flint Hill Goods compact cargo carrier and how it fits on our 2022 Ford Edge. Just going to fit in the hitch of our Ford Edge here. It's going to be a good way to get some storage out of your vehicle. Maybe you're making quick hardware trips or hardware store trips and need some room for some large, messy items that you don't want to keep inside your vehicle. Maybe you're going on a longer trip and you just need a little bit more storage in general. This is going to be a great, lightweight, and durable way to do that, so we'll get into taking a closer look at it. It's made of steel with a black powder coat finish, but it is still lightweight. It's coming in at just around 25 pounds, still able to support 500 pounds of weight capacity, so just make sure that your Ford Edge hitch receiver can support that as well. You can see the general design is we have these 1-inch steel bars running all the way through and across. Not a grid shape as you might see in a lot of other carriers from Flint Hill Goods, so you might have to be a little bit more careful with where you set and store your items, but you still have room for that mess to fall through. We have these rails that go along the top and the bottom. The maximum height of the inside of these rails is going to be about 4 1/8 inches, so that's how high you're going to be able to store your items up and still make contact with those walls. Along the insides of those rails, we have places for you to put straps and tie downs, just more steel bars and a couple of steel strips. So you can use any of those points to tie and strap things down. Comparing to the aluminum cargo carrier, those strips in the middle aren't quite as durable as the steel, so it's nice that we get to use all of those. Also, we do have reflectors, one on either side. It is small and it is black, so at night it's going to be hard to see. It's nice that we have those reflectors there, so it's not going to make any contact. As far as, if you're storing items up, they get a little bit taller. You want to know how much distance you have before you're going to make contact with your trunk opening here. So I'll grab that measurement and we can get an idea of what that would be. So from the bottom of the carrier to this breakover point, it's going to be just around 2 feet or 24 inches before you make contact there. So you get a decent amount of storage. Even though the hitch receiver doesn't sit very high up, you still get a good amount of room before you make contact there. If you're curious to know how much distance we're going to be adding on to the vehicle in total, from the bumper to the furthest point back, it's going to be about 20.5 inches, so it doesn't really stick out very far at all. It's a little bit close here, but it's not really going to move around too much, but it is around 2 inches, and it kind of goes under this curve here, so again, I'm not going to be super worried about that. As far as ground clearance goes, it does stick straight out from our shank. In this case, it's going to be around 11 inches. That's just as it stands for now, but once you start loading this up with gear, it's definitely going to be weighing it down a little bit more, so you're going to lose out on some of that ground clearance. Something to be mindful of going up hills or over curbs, but I don't think it's going to be a huge issue as far as bottoming out goes. If we want to now, we can take a closer look at how it fits into our hitch receiver. I mentioned it does have a 2-inch shank. In this case, it fits into our 2-inch hitch receiver. We have this anti-rattle bolt here. We just hand thread that. It's got this nut on the other end that we use to tighten things up, and it has a clip here just to keep things a little bit more secure. So this isn't my favorite style of anti-rattle bolt, but in this case for the compact carrier it does enough, and once you start loading it up you'll get a lot less shake. While we're down here, we usually like to try to take a look at the exhaust. In the case of our Ford Edge, it is pointed down and away, so it's not going to be making any sort of contact or damaging any heat sensitive items we may be storing here. So overall, I do like this compact cargo carrier from Flint Hill Goods. I like that black powder coat finish and that it's made of steel, but it's still really lightweight and again able to support up to 500 pounds. So if you're just looking for something that's easy to take out, put back in, maybe use every once in a while for those quick grocery store trips, or maybe use it for a longer road trip if you need a little bit of storage, this is going to be a great option for you. Flint Hill Goods does have a ton of different shapes and sizes, so you can check out those pages as well as those reviews and videos to see which one works for you. This was a quick look at the Flint Hill Goods steel compact hitch cargo carrier and how it fits on our 2022 Ford Edge.